What's the worst case of helicopter parenting you've seen? Working summer orientation for Mild Community College, and we have new students register for classes towards the end of the session. Counselors are there to help with class selection. This one mom was literally hovering over her son, telling him which classes to choose and completely ignoring the counselor's advice. When she had him stand up, she proceeded to sit down and she herself started registering her son for his classes. I tried to intervene, letting her know that we ask that the student register themselves and that he'll be doing online registration for the rest of his college career. I was told to F***K off. Later I pulled him aside and told him to change his password and swap into a class more appropriate for his placement exams. It was this incident that triggered us to design a parent orientation to keep them away from their kids. A mom came with her kid to whine about a deserved poor grade. The kid was a junior in college. Mom was not happy when I informed her I couldn't and wouldn't talk to parents. And by not happy I mean lost her shit and was escorted out by campus security. The student was mortified, of course, even came by to apologize, and I was basically like, let's both just pretend that never happened. Catch, here's what you should work on for the next exam. My son told me about this one 5th grade overnight trip to nature center. Kid's mom went, was only parent, that wasn't a teacher, to go, had a complete meltdown when she was told that her kid would be sleeping in cabin with other kids and not her. She was told this before trip as well. 4 teachers per cabin, basically overnight school. He said she basically spent the entire night outside watching the cabin, really creeped everyone out. Man, the rant she went on Facebook. At least her friends and family called her out on her nonsense. Imagine quite a few people got blocked that day. This is my sister's experience, but she taught kindergarten for a while, and she had a kid whose mother wouldn't let her play outside if it was below 70 degrees and told the school she was allergic to dairy, but then admitted she lied about that because she couldn't trust that the school wouldn't serve her spoiled milk. So she thought it would be easier to just say she was allergic. Also, the kid was coincidentally sick and had to stay home from school on every single field trip. While working at new student orientation in college, I was told a story from a previous year. The parents who attended orientation were housed separately from the students. One mom wanted to stay with her daughter and took the bed of another student. The mom told the student she can find somewhere else to sleep. The student, not knowing what to do, ended up sleeping in a chair in the common area of the dorm. Regulars where I work, mom is obsessed with her son, who is in his early 20s. He chose a school on the other side of the country. She moved and bought a house near campus so that they could still live together. Husband is always overseas for work. She would call and ask us to do specific things for her son. Remind him to take his keys and charger, call and make appointments for him, arrange rides, etc. Last update I heard he chose a grad school in another country. Mom did not follow him. Thank God he finally has some freedom. Went to youth group with 2 kids who had the worst helicopter mom. These kids had no muscle mass and were the least athletic kids ever because their parents wouldn't let them play sports. Their mom came to every youth meeting we had, usually just for the youth and the youth leaders. The older kid begged his mom to go on a mission trip with us, only to another part of the state, not even out of country. After we all kind of vouched for him and said he'd be taken care, she let him go. Happy story in the end. He ended up completely coming out of his shell because of that trip. He got super independent and his mom let up seeing that he could take care of himself. Breastfeeding her son. I don't know if she still does it, but said son was 12 years old at the time. Yes, 12. My aunt never let my cousins have any kind of sugar or candy. She told them that it was poison and tasted nasty. One time while our grandma was babysitting them, they were 6, she let them have 1 Capri Sun each. They loved it, saying Grammy, sugar actually tastes good, and threw up shortly after because their stomachs could not handle it. My cousins are alcoholics now. I watch a neighbor kid. He's 15. The poor kid has no social/life skills. I do not blame him as his guardian. Stepmother is crazy controlling. Up until this school year, she walked him to the bus stop, literally 2 houses down. then proceeded to wait until he boarded the bus. Once, she grounded him for talking to a stranger at McDonald's. As stated, the kid is 15. She refuses to let him do normal teenager things. The furthest he can walk alone is one house down, through an alley, to my house. My son's befriended the new kid in middle school. Homeschooled through elementary school years, but parents wanted him to interact with kids. He's a good kid. Smart, but guarded and sheepish, but he got along great with my sons. They want to have a sleepover. He gets dropped off, and his mother hands me a list. Had to be 4 pages of his routine. Dos and don'ts and everything. Adam is not to have anything to drink after the hour of 8 p.m. He needs to brush his teeth with the toothbrush we sent him with. He needs to be asleep by blah blah blah. I have 3 kids. I can keep a 12-year-old kid alive for 20 hours without a list. She would text me non-stop. I felt bad for the kid. I'll let him know, listen, if you bend a few of these rules, I'll never tell your mom if you won't. And he had this huge smile. I'm not sure what kind of people helicopter parents think they are creating, but it can't be a fun one, that's for sure. I was 11 to 13 at the time. I had a friend on the swim team that was also around that age. His parents were the most controlling people I had ever seen. His mother looked like the head of a Catholic girls' school that punishes students for singing. We all used to play Nintendo DS games during meets. He just watched over our shoulders, because if he touched a gaming console he would be punished. His parents always made him wear the same clothes every day. Tan khakis, white shirt, dark blue sweater vest. I once got him a t-shirt for his birthday. He gave it back saying that he wasn't allowed to wear it. He was homeschooled. Pretty sure his family spoke ecclesiastical Latin at home, heckin' weird. My dad's friends from law school. They waited until their 40s to have a child because they were busy running their very successful law firm, and once they realized they were getting a little old they really struggled to conceive. They finally had one viable pregnancy that resulted in their only child, Thea. Thea is super bright like his parents, but they hovered over him his whole life. One time they held a dinner party and they had their caterer make an entirely separate buffet for Thea because the other buffet that they chose and paid for wasn't healthy enough for him. They ended up retiring and closing their firm the same summer he graduated from high school and bought a house next to his college campus. They had a really big falling out when Thea wasn't coming home enough, and the last I heard he ended up transferring colleges without telling them. I had a babysitting gig once where a kid's 11-year-old mom regularly forced him to rewrite his entire homework assignment by hand if she found one error. This included something as minor as eraser marks or sloppy handwriting on even a single word. If he made another error on the copy, she'd make him do it again and again and again. I felt really badly for that kid. Hope he made it to wherever he is now without perfection paralysis. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Also share the video with friends.